comparing ourselves to others is something that can really destroy our lives, to be honest with you, okay? And it's something that I learned early on, really through martial arts training. So as a teacher of martial arts, it's very easy for me to see when I'm looking at the students and they're receiving new stripes or receiving new belts. I can see what's going on in the thought process of a person next to them. I have also talked to this person right after the belt ceremony or the stripe ceremony and heard this person's words and the way that they're feeling about the person next to them who's receiving a belt or stripe. And this is the epitome of difficulty in growth, okay? So when you're comparing yourself to others, you're not able to grow and you're not able to get to your highest level of capacity. So what we would need to think really about when we're trying to move up in different situations in our life, in our work, in our career, in this case, in something that's important to you like martial arts, is we need to think about what is it that is exactly our own goals. So, for example, I had this student, and he was complaining to me. He was saying, hey, Professor, I don't even understand why this person got a stripe. I've been smashing them in my jiu-jitsu class. I've been killing it with them on the mat. How come they got a stripe and I didn't get a stripe? And I explained to him, I said, hey, listen, I'm not going to tell you this guy's name, but let's call him Eddie, okay? I said, hey, Eddie, I said, what are you here for? And he said, man, Professor, I'm here to be the best jiu-jitsu person I can be. I'm trying to win the championship, trying to win the Pan Ams that I told you about in March. I want to win the Worlds next year. And I said, okay, so right now you've been training for 9 months. You're a white belt, Eddie. Next year in March, you want to win the Pan Ams. And the following October, you want to win the World Jiu-Jitsu Championships. What the heck does that have to do with the stripe that Joe just received next to you on the mat tonight? And he just looked at me with a blank stare. He goes, you're right, Professor Erik, I really don't know. And I said, you know what? The stripe is something personal between the instructor and Joe, who was next to you on the mat. I said, by the way, Joe's 10 years older than you. Joe comes in here consistently. He's been here for an extra month than you. You might even be receiving a stripe next month. You don't know. But the fact that you're smashing Joe or doing well on the mat against Joe has nothing to do with Joe's progress. Joe's progress and Joe's progress are two things that only have to do with him personally. And that's a personal relationship between Joe and his instructor, giving him feedback through the stripe mechanism to how well Joe's doing with his progress. For you, Eddie, I said, you're not only going to get the feedback from your instructor giving you the stripe when you deserve it, but you're also going to get the feedback from your own goal because you have better goals written down than anyone in class. You actually wrote down that class. He did. You actually wrote down that goal 3 months ago for me. You told me you wanted to win the Pan Ams and you wanted to win the World Championships next year. That's amazing. Those are the goals that you should be looking at every day. You should compare yourself to those goals. So today, did you train hard like you were supposed to? Yes, Professor. I'm like, awesome. Okay. How many days a week did you train last week? 6 days, Professor. I'm like, cool. Okay. You and I promised each other 2 months ago that you'd be training 6 days a week. Now, if that falls off next week, you're not adhering to your goals. So that's when you need to compare yourself to something, which is what you've written down on that piece of paper. And then I let him into a little secret. I said, hey, Eddie, I'm going to let you into a little secret. You know what Joe's goal is? It's to receive a black belt. It's to receive a black belt before he turns 40 years old. Okay? So his goal has nothing to do with your goals. Nothing. He has no goals that he wants to compete. He has a big goal in his life that he wants to turn black belt before he's 40 years old. And so how is it humanly possible if you win the gold medal in the Pan Ams and then he gets to the mat the next day and say, hey, you know what, Professor Erik, I'm going to quit Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I say, why? And he said, man, Eddie just won a gold medal in the Pan Ams. I didn't even compete. That's not his goal. He should be comparing himself to his goals. And that's why I always encourage you to write down your goals at the beginning of the year so that you can stay focused on what you can compare yourself to, which is you. Comparison can kill. So be careful that you're not comparing yourself to others, but compare yourself to you and your goals.